Hey, what's up, guys? Dale Valor here for Modern Valor Dating. Today we're going to be talking about how to be cocky funny. That's an expression that's been used in games since the history of time. David D'Angelo introduced that to the community early on, and so I'm going to give him all the credit. But I do have the top 6 tips on how to do cocky funny and make sure that it lands and you do it with perfection. So let's hop into it. Let's go. All right, tip number 1, body language. Now, this is something that you should always be cognizant of in game in general, how your body language is coming across. But in cocky funny, the thing is that you always want to retain having that alpha frame, that shoulders back, head up type of body language. You want to walk with purpose. You want your movements to come across with purpose. You want to make sure that you're always coming across as a guy that is dominant, that is, just a step up from the normal guys in the club. Now, I don't mean to come across as arrogant or anything like that, but in your body language should present that you have self-confidence. That's the cocky part of cocky funny. I'm not telling you to go be a cocky asshole. I'm just saying have that stature of somebody that is confident in themselves. We're going to hop into tip number 2. Let's go. All right, tip number 2, tonality. Now, that is another aspect of game that you should always be cognizant of, regardless if you're doing cocky funny or not, okay? If your voice is a little more high-pitched, make sure you bring it down an octave. You want to have more of a deeper, rich tone. And you always want to project from your chest, from your diaphragm. Don't talk out of your throat. Don't talk through your nose. Talk from here, from your core. And when you say things, particularly in a loud environment, you want to punch your words. You want to make sure that you're being heard. Because as soon as you're not heard, nobody's listening. So you want to make sure that you're the center of attention, that you're in command, that everybody needs to listen to you. And one of the ways to emphasize that is through your voice, through your tone, projecting your voice, and having it be smooth, rich, and full, and vibrant, okay? So we're going to hop into tip number 3. Let's get it. All right, tip number 3, pebbles. Okay, what a pebble is like a little jab or a little joke or teasing. It's not really a neg. It's really just more of just a funny thing to say that's just jokey, that isn't like a harsh diss or anything like that. Like a good example of a pebble would be, I'm making you look good in front of all those girls over there, right? Things like that are kind of cocky, and you just kind of like, just little slight jabs that are just fun and amusing and something that, is just going to make her friends laugh, things like that. And you use that sparingly. You don't just say one after another, because if you do that, then you're just coming across as a jerk, which you don't want to necessarily do. Although in some contexts you do want to do that. But by and large, use it sparingly. They're just little pebbles, little rocks that you can just tink, 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 just that you can throw out there like that. So we're going to hop into tip number 4. Let's go. All right, tip number 4, the verbal volley. So, you're throwing out these pebbles and you're making little snide comments and things like that, and recognize that you're playing with fire. She's not going to just accept it and just be like, oh, he's so cocky, he's so funny, let me go home with him right now. It doesn't really work that way. She's going to come back at you. She's going to say something back, okay? So it's just like a game of volleyball. You serve the ball to her, she's going to throw it right back to you, okay? Now, here's the thing. You're basically wanting to be one step above. So if you say something, she says something, you say something, she says something. Now, if she gets you, if she delivers like a really good line or something like that, and that happens from time to time, she gets you. What's the best way to make sure that you're still on top? Respect. So in other words, what you do is if she gets you, just say respect, like you got me, okay? And by saying that, you're putting yourself back up on top, because what you're saying to her is, you've proven yourself to me now. You now have my respect. So you're still on top because you're the prize. So we're going to hop into tip number 5. Let's go. Tip number 5, you want to be unflappable. What does unflappable means? It means that you're never got. All right, think of James Bond, okay? He never is in a position to where he's not on top. Remember in tip 4 where I said the verbal volley, it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then ultimately, if she gets you, respect, okay? So you're never being pinned into a corner, okay? So the best way to be unflappable is to not be reactive. Don't let your frame show that, oh, you got me. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that. You want to maintain that same frame that we talked about in tip number 1. You want to still have that body language present throughout the whole course of the interaction. And that is how you're going to show her that you're unflappable, that you're non-reactive. Let's get into tip number 6. Tip number 6, you want to treat her like a friend or a little kid. So if you have a little sister, you know how that goes. She comes up, she maybe makes fun of your shoes or something like that, but you don't pay it no mind because it's your little sister. Just like, yeah, whatever. You know, that's pretty much probably the frame that you're going to have with a child. You don't really care. It's a kid. You know, that's the same frame that you want to keep. How do you treat your friends? You joke around with your friends. You diss your friends. You clown your friends. You don't really mean it. You're just joking around. You're just playing. So this is no different than that. You don't want her to think that you're serious, that you're seriously trying to clown her, or diss her, or you know, embarrass her, or make her look bad. You're just kidding around. That's it. So if you like this video, if you got value out of this video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notifications. We want to make sure that we're getting you these videos in the quickest way possible to help you improve your game and to help you accomplish all the goals that you're trying to reach. So make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.